Hey everyone! So in this video I'm going to show you how to export your decals from decal machine to Unreal Engine 5. We're going to be following the decal machine documentation to do that. And I know there's some intimidating part here to change a little bit of the code of the engine. I'm going to show you how to do that. It's not complicated and you only have to do it once. And I'm going to also show you the end result. So here in Unreal Engine, we have this cube with some decals, and we textured them in Substance Painter. And they're just set up with the parallax effect. So if I go here, you can see that this part almost looks as part of the geo. The screw looks off though, but you can play with the values in the here in the material shader, so you can mess around and have a better parallax effect. Also, if we change the color of the cube, we can see that the decals match instantly. And the tutorial is going to be long, but I think it's going to be worth it for you if you're into game development. So let's just see you in a bit. Before we start, I hope you can handle the microphone quality. I'm just doing this video because a lot of people are struggling with this, and I'm not a YouTuber. The first part is going to be in Blender. We're going to create atlas maps. I highly recommend that you watch Machine 3 videos on how to do that, because I'm just going to go fast. You can see the tutorial is already too long, so I'm not going to go in details for everything. Also in Substance Painter, make sure you watch some other tutorials on how to properly texture your objects. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the tutorial. So let's go ahead and start. Okay guys, we have our decals and they are already projected. We are going to create two atlas maps, one for the info decals and another one for the simple and subset decals. So let's press N, go to Machine 3, and go to the Creation panel. Let's hide this junk and let's disable our info collection. We are going to create the atlas map for the simple and subset decals first. So select everything, click atlas. Here in the type, leave it at normal, and the size, set it to specific and keep it at 2K, and create a new atlas. Okay, we name this atlas decals, and just go down here and store the selected atlas. Deselect everything and hide this preview, and also let's hide our simple and subset collections and enable the info collection. Select everything. If you see this, just go here and make sure you also hide this atlas decals. Now, let's set the type to info and create a new atlas. Let's give it a name, atlas info, and store the selected atlas. Now we are going to export them. So go to the export panel and hide this one. We are going to deselect all of this by pressing left mouse button shift and dragging down. We just leave the atlas info, and let's just hide the preview, select everything and click use atlas. here, deselect per parent, click join atlas decals to make them one object, and set your export location. Gonna create a folder, call it atlas maps, and in the textures folder, let's call this info. And for our maps, we only need the alpha and the color map. We don't have emission, so we can deselect this, and we don't have normal, so deselect it. We also don't need channel packed, so disable them and click export. All right, let's check our folder. And we have here info, and we have our color map and alpha map. Let's do the same for the subset and simple decals. So deselect everything, and let's enable our simple collection and subset collection, and hide the info collection. Let's also hide the atlas info. Let's make sure we deselect everything here, and again, select everything. Let's click atlas decals and disable the atlas info and click use atlas. We're gonna join the atlas decals for the textures folder. Let's call this one decals. And now pay attention, this is important. For our maps, we don't need the alpha, but I just like to have it anyway. We don't have color, so deselect that. We have emission decals, so we're gonna select emission, and we're gonna select normal, ambient occlusion, curvature, height, and subset. Now, very important map is here in the channel packed. We're gonna select masks, and for the first channel, we're gonna select subset occlusion. The second one, we're gonna select alpha. The third one, we're gonna select subset occlusion. And the last one, we leave it at none. And then we can export. If we check our folder again, we have decals and we have our atlas maps. And I can already see problems here. So this pink area here, we're gonna have to paint it to black. Otherwise, it's gonna cause issues in Unreal Engine. This happens with a few decals, and I'm not sure why. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. But I'm gonna show you how to fix it. It's not complicated. Let's close this, and now we are going to move on to the Vertex Painting. Alright guys, now we're gonna move on to the Vertex Painting. First of all, what is Vertex Painting? I have no clue, but I know that we can create ID maps that we will use in Substance Painter, and this will enable us to have separate materials for each of these decals, and it's gonna make it much easier to texture them. The process is very simple, and let's just start with the subset decals since we already joined them, so they are one object. You can go to edit mode and select, go to face and select the decal, and then we're gonna go here on the top and set it to vertex paint. Then I'm gonna click this paint mask and choose any random color. And then we're going to press Shift K. You're not going to see anything, so let's go to the viewport shading, and maybe let's also set this to attribute. And now we're going to see our vertex paint. So let's go back to edit mode, select another decal, go to vertex paint, and choose a different color. Shift K, and again, edit mode, select another decal, go to vertex paint and change the color, and then Shift K. Always make sure that your paint mask is enabled. All right, again, edit mode, select the decal, vertex paint, set another color, and Shift K. If you want to have the same material for more than one decal, you can just give them the same color, and or you can, for example, just set a few of them, set the color, vertex paint color for a few of them, and the rest just leave it blank, and you can give one material for the rest of the decals. Anyway, let's go back to edit mode, and I think we just have two left, so let's select this one, go to vertex paint and give it another color, and Shift K. Edit mode, select this one, vertex paint, and set it to another random color, Shift K. And now go back to edit mode and go to object mode. So this is our subset and simple atlas, and this is our info atlas. So I'm gonna go to edit mode, select the decal, vertex paint, make sure you set the paint mask, set the color, and Shift K. And again, edit mode, select the decal, vertex paint, choose a color, and Shift K. It's very hard to have the same color randomly. That's probability, so just move your mouse and set whatever color here. Let's go back to edit mode, and the last decal, go to vertex paint, choose a color, and Shift K. And we are done. So if you go to object mode, and you can see that we have different colors for our decals. And I'm just gonna do the same for the cube. I think this is a better way than creating separate material, because once you take it to Substance Painter, it's just gonna annoy you. So let's go to edit mode, gonna create, let's go to viewport shading first, and gonna create an edge loop, or let's go to object mode, go to top view, and enable box cutter, and then I'll create a box here and press K and press enter. Now if we go to edit mode, we have this, so we can select this face and maybe select all of it, and we can go to vertex paint, set the paint mask, choose color, and Shift K. And I'm gonna go back to edit mode. If you only have this, you can just leave it. You don't have to set the vertex paint for the other side, but I'm gonna do it anyway. So Control I to invert selection and go to vertex paint, change the color, and Shift K. Now we go to object mode and we have our cube and decals with different vertex paints, and I'm going to show you next how to create the ID map in Substance Painter and texture everything. Okay guys, we are going to fix our atlas maps before we move to Substance Painter. I'm gonna use Krita, but if you are familiar with Photoshop or GIMP, you can just use that. All right, so let's open our maps folder and right click our masks and open with Krita. Let's click this similar color selection tool and click our pink color, and then let's select the fill tool. By the way, probably there's 100 better ways to do this. Just don't care. So just go here and click left click to set it to black. Make sure your color is black here, and do that to all the sides. Now, when you go back to the selection tool and right click and deselect, you're still gonna see these lines. So I'm just gonna use a brush and the color is set to black, and I'm just gonna brush this away. Just make sure you don't mess up the green part. Yeah, like I said, I'm pretty sure there's better ways to do this, but these softwares are not really my thing. So go around this. And yeah, this happens only on few decals, so you really don't need to do this every time, especially if you create an atlas from your library. All right, we're done. So let's just save it, and I'm just gonna set it to Atlas Masks 2 and click OK. Now let's do the same for the height map. So open it. And we cannot use this tool anymore because there might be some black areas that will be selected. Just gonna try it anyway. So yeah, see, we cannot really use this. So I'm gonna deselect, and I'm just gonna use a brush, set to black, and oh, not set to black. We have to set it to this gray. So let's go to our sample color from image and select this gray. Select the brush, maybe make it a little bit bigger, and just paint out this black area. Also, guys, if you know how to avoid this and while exporting the atlas, just please let me know in the comments. Okay, now let's get rid of this. And there you go, we're done. Let's save it to height map 2. You can overwrite, but I'm just gonna show you the example if what happens when you don't fix these issues. So I'm gonna leave it. let's do the same for the AO map, and the rest are fine, so there's no issues in the other maps, so don't worry about them. Let's again, we cannot use this tool again, so let's just select the brush and set it to white, increase the size, and paint these parts away. All right. Okay, now let's save it and call it AO2. Click save, okay, and close this. And now we can finally go to Substance Painter. All right, guys. So we are here in Substance Painter. And before we start, I'm just gonna tell you that I'm gonna do a sloppy job to save some time. But I will show you exactly what you need to texture your decals, and you can spend some time and make them look good. So let's go to File, New, and let's select our FBX file. And here in the baked maps, we're gonna add our atlas maps. So in the info, we're gonna add a color map. Click open and gonna press add again and go to decals. And let's add our AO map. Make sure you select the one that we fixed and select the curvature. You can select the emission if you plan to change the emissive color, but I'm not going to do that, so I'm going to just leave it. And select our normal map and our subset map. Click open and click OK. All right, now let's go here to our decals material and scroll down in the settings. Let's select our normal map and let's also select our ambient occlusion map. Curvature is already selected. Now, if I scroll here, you're gonna see our decals. Before we start texturing, let's go to the baking icon here. And we're gonna bake our ID maps. So let's deselect all of this and just leave the ID. Let's also set this to vertex color. And we're gonna do this to all our materials when we need to bake the ID. So I'm gonna deselect these and just click bake. We're gonna have 3 ID maps for each one of our materials, and they're baked. So let's go back to painting mode. Let's start with the alpha decals. So let's select our atlas info. Sorry, I meant info decals. And let's go here, delete this junk and add the new fill layer. We're gonna start with I'm sure you forgot them, so I'm gonna open Blender. And we're gonna have here our colored info decal, and here we have a white info decal, and here I'm gonna make this an emissive color info decal. So I'm gonna show you how to do that. For this one, I just want to change this color to something else because you might face this problem. Ideally, you want your info decals to have, like, for example, just leave it as this. So I'll change the PNG, but if you want, you can also do this in Substance Painter. So let's click here, right click, and go to Add Mask with Color Selection. And here, down here, we're gonna click pick color and select our decal. And for the fill layer, we don't need any of this except the color, so I'm gonna disable everything else. And for the base color, let's click and set it to our color map. And you're gonna see this. Now, to change this yellow color, I'm gonna right click here on our fill layer and go to add filter. And so I'm gonna select the filter, and here, let's set it to HSL. And you can play with the hue saturation. So maybe I want it green, so we're gonna move the hue, and there you go, we have green, and that material is done. So let's create another fill layer. This is gonna be for the white decal, and we're gonna right click, add mask with color selection, and then go here to pick color and select this one. For the color, I'm gonna disable these again and just leave color, and let's make it, for example, blue. So I'm gonna select blue. And yes, I know this is messed up, and also here, but once we export this to Unreal Engine, we can set the alpha map, and it's gonna just look perfect. All right, now we have here an emissive decal, and I'll show you how to create an emissive material here. All right, so let's go here to our texture setting and go here to channels, and for the channels we don't have emissive, so let's add one. Press the add button and click emissive. Now we have it, and let's go back to the layers, create a new fill layer, and let's create a color mask with the color selection, and pick the color of the decal. We want to make it emissive, and now let's go and click a color here, and let's disable everything except color and emission. I think the color here doesn't matter, but I'll just set it to, I don't know, maybe the cyan. And I'm also gonna set the emissive to cyan color. So just leave it like this and close it. And this is done. So let's texture our, maybe let's do our cube first. So let's select our material for the cube, delete this. Let's go to this, I don't know, smart materials. And let's choose something, maybe this plastic dusty. Let's try. Looks all right, but I don't like it, so I'm gonna delete this. Let's select our maybe steel paint, this one here, and it looks horrible. And I think because we don't have a curvature map, so let's do that real quick. Let's go to the baking and disable all materials we don't need, leave this one, and select curvature, and I'm just gonna click bake. All right, it's done. Let's go back to painting mode, and you can already see it's a little bit better, but it's still horrible. So let's delete this, and let's delete this one here. And we have to enable our materials again. So let's set maybe a cube to this material. All right, it's not so bad. Let's just change the color to red and just leave it as it is. And since we have already a vertex, ID map here, we can just right click, add mask with color selection, pick color, and let's select this one. For this one, I think I'm going to go with glass. So drag it here. And let's also select another mask with color selection and pick this one. It's going to be like, I don't know, maybe some screen for the emissive decal. So now we have this. We're going to have to texture our decals. So let's go there, select the material, let's delete this, and let's maybe first start with this plastic dusty and apply it. You can see some decals already don't look so bad, so I'm gonna choose it for, I don't know, maybe this one here, or this one is a simple decal, so it doesn't matter if you have a material here. I'm just gonna set it to this vent. So let's go to add mask with color selection, pick color, select the vent. Now let's do the same for the other ones. For these two decals, I already know that they are simple decals, so I'm not gonna waste time texturing those because they're gonna take the material of the cube anyway. But I will definitely texture the other ones. So let's pick, I don't know, maybe aluminium, drop it, select mask, add mask with color selection, and pick this one. Let's, I don't know, maybe do copper. Again, same thing, mask with color selection, and pick the decal. And lastly, this one here, let's set it to something else, maybe steel or steel gun. It's okay, so I'm just gonna select mask with color selection and pick this one. And I'm gonna leave these, like I said. So we have this done. Now it's very important. So again, pay attention. Let's add a material, and this material is gonna fake our AO. Don't ask me what, how, I don't know. I'm just gonna show you what you should do. So go here and add a new fill layer in the decals material. And let's set this color to black. And let's only enable the color and the roughness. I'm gonna disable everything else. And the roughness, I'm gonna set it to 1. And you're gonna see this. Now, let's right click and add mask with color selection. Here, you're gonna change this ID mask with our subset mask, which is right here. That's why we imported it. So it's not loading. Yes, there it is. So I'm gonna select that, and I'm gonna pick color and select the black color. And you're gonna see that our materials are only applied where it should apply. And basically everything is that you see as black here is gonna either take the material of the cube, the red one, or it's going to be the ambient occlusion. So for example, for this decal, maybe if I hide this, you see here there's like this part here, and it's gonna just show this as a black, like the separation here. It's just gonna look nice. So let's enable it again, and we are pretty much done. So let's just export our textures. Maybe save it first somewhere here on the desktop, called cube. Save, and go to File, Export, Textures, and choose your export location. I'm going to create a folder, Textures, and select the folder. I don't really care about these options. I'm not going to change anything here except the output template. Let's set this to Unreal Engine 4, packed, and click export. All right, now that's done. So let's open our folder and let's see, we have our textures here. Yeah, some of them look quite funny, but like I said, it's gonna look perfect once we import them to Unreal Engine. So, and that's gonna be the next part.